Joe Burke from PopXCast, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual host. Check out all of our podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Intellectual Podcast. I'm your host, David S. Dawson. Thank you once again for joining us. It is now 2019, and this is our final episode of Season 5. This is our lively discussion with actor Merrick McCartha, who returned to the show after several years to talk about his endeavors in Los Angeles. Very successful endeavors, actually, as an actor. He's been in some amazing shows, including the Lethal Weapon TV series, and we just really love chatting with Merrick. He's always got such great advice for up-and-coming actors, and he's just, a really wonderful human being, one of my favorite people in our community, and I'm so pleased that he came back to chat with us once again. Be sure to join us later this month as we live stream the start of Season 6 of the Intellectual Podcast. I'm super excited that we're moving into our 6th year. It's been a long road to get here. I thank you all for your support and for continuing to listen to the show. If you're looking for other great podcasts to listen to, might I suggest You Are Gonna Die Alone from our friends Jordan Jacobo and Kristen Chandler. Season 2 of You Are Gonna Die Alone will be coming up here really soon, so it's a great time to catch up on Season 1 if you haven't been listening already. You can find them wherever you listen to podcasts, including iTunes and Google Play. If You Are Gonna Die Alone's not enough for you, you can always check out more incredibly geeky shows at the Gonna Geek Network, the podcast network that we're a proud part of. Just go to GonnaGeekNetwork.com and you'll find anything to tickle your fancy there. I guarantee it. And now, let's get into episode 233, because of our Christmas episode, of the Intellectual Podcast with Merrick McCartha.
Talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. The Intellectual Podcast starts now.
Hi, welcome to the Intellectual Podcast, live streaming on Facebook. I am David Dawson.
And I'm Whitney Wegman.
And we're sitting with our very good friend and very talented actor, Merrick McCartha.
Has that always been your intro voice, the woman there? Has that been the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, since talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm, spoken by an Australian bird, has been on the show since at least episode 12.
Okay.
We had Darkwing Duck.
It's awesome.
Darkwing Duck is also on it, and that's been around since our
Duck.
first year, but it's not usually the opening. The opening is that one, and we usually close out with Darkwing Duck.
Well, thank you both for having me on.
Yeah.
I really
Absolutely.
appreciate
Good
it.
to have you back.
It's my understanding it's been a while since you've been on the show.
It's been a little bit.
So Merrick was first on the podcast the same night that Mark Atkinson joined the podcast as a co-host. And we recorded Mark's first sit-down chat with me and Merrick's chat with me on the same night.
How long
Wow.
ago was that?
4 or 5 years ago now?
Yeah, it was a while.
Probably. It was like year
it was-
2 of the podcast.
It was a while. Mark
early
Atkinson.
in year 2 of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark, by the way, is sad that he couldn't join us tonight, but he had work.
Okay.
So he couldn't be here, but he did say he was going to try and watch if he could.
Good.
But who knows?
Good. Yeah. Mark did a
miss
pretty.
you, Mark.
We'll
Mark
have to
did a
reel him
pretty
in
big
next
movie,
time.
I think, a while back, wasn't it? But
Mark?
yeah. What's the Vig?
Oh,
What's the Vig? Mark Atkinson. I remember that.
wow, that's a throwback.
I think it's on Amazon. Is it on Amazon?
You know,
Probably, possibly.
Yeah.
You know the What's the Vig references. They don't drop as often.
Well, I make a point to mention it every time I get to talk about Mark Atkinson on camera. So
That's hilarious. But no, it is available on Amazon for streaming, and we'll gladly refund your money if you make the mistake. I believe it's free for Prime members.
Okay.
now,
And
so.
I got to see it at theaters and with lots of tequila involved. And I think that's the way that you're supposed to watch that film. I'm given to
Yeah, we closed
understand.
out the first film week, San Diego Film Week, with What's the Vig.
Wow.
We made a whole drinking game out of it.
Oh.
Whenever Steve Schwartz was creepy, you had to have a drink. Whenever somebody had a baseball, you had to have a drink. It was fun. It was goofy and it was fun. It was a great way to close film week.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that. That's cool.
But no, we wanted to catch up with you, Merrick, because it's been far too long, and I know you've had a lot of things going on. But before we move into all your updates, I thought we maybe could revisit a few things. So can we see some of these things?
You got stuff?
Yeah.
There's a few things that we're going to look at.
Okay.
Well, look at that handsome devil in right there. That is things happening. Oh, no, that's the recency effect.
Yeah.
Yes,
the
that
recency
is.
effect.
I was pretty upset then.
Yeah, you're very upset in that movie.
Yeah.
Very, very upset in
Not a
that
happy
movie.
guy.
It was
All
great
right.
that you were part of that film. Because,
Yeah.
that film for me is like the movie where I've kind of really started to feel like I knew what the hell I was doing
Really?
as a director.
Isn't that also available on Amazon Prime?
No, that one is not yet, but it will be soon.
Oh, okay.
Let's see the next picture. Oh,
Oh,
yes.
right.
That's more recent. That's more recent. You
I
and, Randy
didn't realize you
Davis.
had that photo of me as Spock.
Spock. It was it's the logical choice, really.
Yeah.
So that was for
Yes.
this year's Film Awards, right?
Yeah, that was a
Parody.
fun little
Sci-fi
parody of
parodies.
the. Yeah.
And you and Whitney got to act.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a fun shoot.
That was.
Until it started raining on us.
No, but your Marty McFly is just amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I was thoroughly impressed.
I can do spunky.
Yeah, as I was with Randy Davidson's Shatner. That was just insanely good.
Yeah. Randy was so that character that I forgot it was Randy.
Yeah, that's great.
Let's see the next picture that we have.
Oh, just
look
some
at that.
fun. Just the three of us
That's,
hanging
Three of
out.
us, you, me, and Randy.
Is that the jacket you're wearing right now?
That is, in fact, the jacket I'm wearing right now.
Oh, that's Film Week. Is that Film Week?
That was Film Week, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
That was...
Yeah, that was a gala. Was that the one that was
That was
at
the first Film Week, right? Yeah, that was at the Lafayette.
Yeah, that was a
opening
fun
night.
night. Yeah,
When Whitney and I were doing red carpet coverage.
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's one more. Oh, yes.
yeah.
Aw.
That is
The
such
bromance
Yeah.
is real, folks.
That
As
is,
my sister stated, tonight was a night of bromances.
yeah, that's a fun photo.
You
there.
sent me that last night.
Yeah, I was in
picture.
an emotional moment. I thought about how strong our friendship has been over the years, and I came across it. I'm like, this
adorable.
photo just kind of reminds me how awesome of a guy you are. So
Yeah. Well, we go back a ways now.
yeah,
It's funny how time works like that.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, Merrick, you've been busy recently. What are all the things that you've been working on?
Well, I live in Los Angeles, as you know, so being there, having stronger representation, I get out to audition a lot more. So I'm doing up for commercials and TV shows quite a bit. So there's a couple of commercials that are coming out very soon, and there's another TV show episode I'll be in, I think, next month.
Can you share it or?
Yeah, I think so. There's a reboot of One Day at a Time, where they're Puerto Rican, and I'm a character in that episode. I forget which episode it is, but One Day at a Time. I think it's on Netflix. So that was a really fun shoot. I got to hang with Rita Moreno, Stephen Tobolowsky, who you know from Groundhog Day, who's actually a personal friend now. I'm part of a theater company in LA now too, so a lot of the actors in our members in our company are like these well-known TV actors and film actors. It's crazy. And Stephen Tobolowsky's wife Anne is on the board of directors, and so we just went to a show.
What is the theater company?
The Road Theater Company in Burbank.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's awesome. Awesome place to be a part of. I'm constantly doing things, auditioning quite a bit, TV shows. You've seen some things, I think, this year as well. So.
Yeah. How long have you been in LA now?
It is going on, 2 years, a year and a half.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to say a year and a half.
So everybody's still looking for you for rides to LA.
I know. It's surprising how many people don't know that I live in LA now.
It's really
I think I kind of told everyone, hey guys, just so you know, I'm moving to LA, and I still run into people that I know, have known for a while. So you're in LA now? I said, yeah, I've been there for a year or so.
How hard a decision was that to make to go to LA?
Well, luckily for me, it was an easy one because it was the right time and things were lined up to do that. You don't want to move. To move into LA to be a working actor, God, you've really got to make sure things are lined up. Otherwise, you have the risk of falling out of acting. You get wrapped up into something else, you find a job up there, and it'll impede your ability to audition as much as any job you'd have in San Diego. So, it may burn you out, as they say. For me, it was easy because I happened to be at the point where I was getting a lot more auditions. My representation is getting me up there, and I was working a lot more consistently to support myself acting. And I found a good spot. My girlfriend Peg and I found a great condo in a place called Eagle Rock.
Oh, Eagle Rock's
that's Eagle Rock's really cool. And everything kind of lined up. So that is what I recommend. If you're not really sure, you realize that you're just going to be at risk. That's all right, I'd say.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, before you went up to LA, we saw an image of the recency effect. But you also acted for me in another film called Things Happen, which is available on Amazon. And Things Happen is a film that I'm incredibly proud of, not the least of which reasons would be you're in it, and you're fantastic. So since it's this film that won some awards here a while back, but not everybody has seen. So I wanted to play a clip from that on the stream tonight.
Sure.
So if we could take that live, that'd be cool.
Look, I know you're going through some stuff. But I thought you said you'd be okay with this. I thought we agreed that getting back on the horse would be good for you. Damn it, I put my ass on the line setting up this fight for you. Fuck me. Look at you. You'd get your ass kicked 6 ways a Sunday by an old lady with a purse at this point. Listen. It's been 3 months. Right? Now what happened? What happened is about the worst thing that could happen to anyone. But you have to move on. You have to keep going. Things happen.
Okay. And we're back. And I'm wigging out because we got some tech issues going on here.
Sorry.
So it's hard for us to even watch what we were looking at.
Yeah, that was a really memorable shoot. I think really got to meet the full intellectual crew for that evening that we shot that scene. Was it just like an overnight thing we did?
Yeah, it was up in
Idlewild.
Yeah.
Really, it's a great time getting to know everyone, the family and the crew. It was really nice.
Yeah, you came up Friday and you shot your scene Saturday morning.
Yeah, that was that's when I knew Dave was a true friend, because he's like, I need you to shoot, and something happened where I didn't have wheels to get up to Idlewild. He's like, all right, take the train to my house, go in my garage, get the keys, go out to grab my car, drive my car up to Idlewild. I'm like,
I didn't want anybody else in the car.
And how long had you known each other at this point?
Well, we know, but not really that.
Not very long.
Not that long.
We hadn't worked together yet.
Dave was like, just take my car.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, yeah, I guess you really want me on this shoot, but it was good, and I'm in process of creating a new reel, and that is perfect for the reel. I didn't. Just looking at what we just saw, I'm like, wow, that's what I need on the reel. I've got a lot of things that are kind of quick scenes or short scenes with me on TV shows, but the casting people in LA are saying, we need you in something that shows you as a lead in something, and that is what that is. So I really got it.
There you go, perfect.
Yeah, I use that.
When I was putting everything together for today's show, I was like, I know the thing I need to put in there. I got to put this shot of.
Yeah, I'm really glad you did. Yeah,
it's easy to forget. It's been a while since we shot that, but you were so good in it.
Thanks.
So, again, I want to make sure people saw it and heard that from me, that you're very talented.
Well,
I'm very happy you were in that role.
Yeah.
Now, we do have some clips that you and Peggy sent in.
Okay.
So I thought maybe we could take a look at those and then talk about your experiences on the various programs that we're about to look
I'd
at.
love to. I'd love to. Yeah.
So let's take a look at the first one.
Sir, I'm Detective Turan, LAPD. Is Miles Daly around?
I'll be one sec. Hello?
Mr. Daly, this is Detective Turan. How are you today?
That depends what this is about.
We had a Mr. Wayne Kinnian file a complaint accusing you of assault and battery. Said you confronted him last night at Nazario's restaurant.
Me? No, that doesn't ring a bell. Are you sure he doesn't mean someone else?
Yes, sir. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Go on then.
Mr. Daly. Sir, I need you to come to the station with us.
Yeah?
Yeah. Since you and I spoke, we've obtained security footage of the confrontation between you and Mr. Kinnian. You're under arrest for battery. Could you turn around, please?
Okay.
All right. Wow. So
What was that from?
That was a show called Get Shorty. It is a show on the streaming network Epix, and it stars Chris O'Dowd and Ray Romano and a couple of other wonderful actors. It's, of course, a take of the film franchise Get Shorty with John Travolta, but this is Crystal. It's the same premise: mobsters get into filmmaking. But that episode is me as a detective that was arresting Chris O'Dowd for something he'd done the night before. And that was a great experience for a lot of reasons. One is I got to be directed by Adam Arkin on that episode.
That's awesome.
Hit off right away. I mean, it was just bam, right away we just clicked. And he just told me that, hey, I saw your audition. I thought you were great. Just, let's do that. And gave me a lot of freedom, and I was able to relax. And we actually shot the scenes, the outdoor ones, like blocks from where I live. Yeah, I was like, this is because they shoot on location in LA all over.
Excuse me, guys. I'm going to go grab a sandwich.
I know, right? It was like blocks from my house. So that was awesome. But Chris O'Dowd's a great guy to work with also. Really nice, down to earth. We rode on the transpo van after we were done shooting back to the lot. So they have their base camp at a mall that's not further from my house than the actual location was. But I had to go to base camp because that's where my trailer was, and I had to get the transpo back to the street location, which is just blocks from my house. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I liked it.
And was that just a guest starring role? Come in, come out? Or?
Yeah, that was just a one day. It's open for recurring if they want. Chris O'Dowd's a guy that on that show would get in trouble a lot more times than just once. So
You hear that, folks?
So you might show up again.
yeah,
Go and write letter campaigns to Epix. Tell them
to
you
get
want.
Shorty.
We like that one detective.
That Detective Turan, that guy.
Bring him back.
Something about him. Yeah.
Hey, sometimes that's all it takes, right?
Yeah.
Letter writing campaigns.
Yeah.
We can push for that.
Yeah.
We got a platform. I mean, there's people watching, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, Merrick, the last time you were on the show was before I even knew David, I think, and
long before.
Yes. So I don't know if you answered this the first time that you were on the show, but what was your journey to becoming a full-time actor? I mean, like, are you California born and bred, or where'd you give us your life story?
Well, I won't go into the long version now, but originally I'm from Detroit, Michigan, the son of two police officers. Both of them graduated the same night at the academy, and that was actually fun growing up. It was strict because they were both cops. But it was really good.
You get to run the siren every once in a while?
No. But yeah, so I moved from there to California, and I ended up going to UCSD to study engineering, electrical engineering, which I did. And I got a job as an electrical engineer with a firm that makes computers for satellite programs. So I was an engineer for a number of years doing that, and had some success, had things go off into space and things like that. And then I think what happened is I came to understand that me being in a lab all day, not around people, is not what I wanted.
No.
I think I just want to do something else. I wanted to, be more than that. And I did some kind of presentation, I think, for work. And they're like, man, you should come and work in sales. It was kind of that thing.
You should do more public speaking.
Yeah. And then a lot of things happened for me. My mother passed away, unfortunately, years back. And I ended up leaving and going into finance, and which is more of a sales job as well. And I did that for a few years as well. And then that was sort of a turning point, because for the company I worked in finance, they were doing promo and commercials, and they were having the employees be a part of this promo thing they were doing. And so when I went to do mine, they're like, wow, this is really great. So they started using all mine, and that kind of made me think maybe there's something to this, that, getting out there in front of the camera was something I could try out. And I went to, I heard about this competition in San Diego called the 48-Hour Film Project. I don't know if you know about this. 48-hour film.
Yes.
You heard about that? Yeah.
Robin's watching.
Yeah.
Hi, Robin.
Actually, I think this is right before Robin joined on to helm that. I think at the time
it was before Dwayne even started helming it.
Yeah, I think so. And so
the one blonde lady was running the show at the time.
I believe. Yes, that's right. Right. So I went to audition. At the time, they were auditioning for different teams, and I went to. I had some in high school. I had some acting classes and things like that. So I felt like I knew what I was doing. So I went to audition for a couple of teams, and I was literally laughed out of the audition room. Like, what are you doing? Why are you? It was like that. Like, get out. You don't even.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Wow.
bad. It was humiliating. And then I went to another audition with Michael Bergemeyer and Bill Bork. Mm-hmm. And they watched me audition, and Mike's, okay, now let's try it this way. He kind of worked with me a little bit. And it wasn't humiliating. Oh, wow, they were really nice to me. That was pretty cool. And I was happy with that. I'm like, I wasn't humiliated at this audition. And then, lo and behold, that when they got their drawing, they picked their genre was historical fiction, and they asked me to come in to be part of the film. Yeah. And that was my first time being in a film, was with what's now the Amalgamated Grommets.
Yeah. And co-starring with Kristen Chandler
of
the You're Gonna Die Alone podcast, who, by the way, has asked you a question.
So let me start real quick with Kristen, because that's when I first met my dear friend Kristen Chandler, who... she's
not here, but she's here.
An award-winning actress herself, who is one of my dearest friends in the world. And I apparently missed her birthday celebration just a bit back. And I want to wish you a happy birthday, because I love you. And you know how much you mean to me, and our friendship's gone back so many years. So happy birthday, my dear. And I hope to see you at some point. But just know that I'm always thinking about you, and I always hold you dear in my heart. And you're the best actress that I know.
Okay. So her question goes, Merrick, you're such a humble actor. How do you keep so positive in such a cutthroat community like LA?
Wow, that's a good question. I think in San Diego, I got to the point where I wanted to be more spiritually grounded. So I do things like meditation. I try to stay around positive people like Kristen Chandler, and people like David Dawson, who are just really good people. And
you should have seen him when Jordan was on. He was saying how much a curmudgeon he was.
Yeah. So, and it's also funny about Jordan Jacobo. I realized that Kristen, I was thinking it might have been your birthday, and then I actually reached out to Jordan Jacobo and like, hey, is birthday coming up? And he's like, no, it's not for a while. I don't know what you're talking about. So it's Jordan Jacobo is the reason that I missed your birthday. So when you see him, if
hey,
you
Jordan, you see that bus? I think you just got thrown.
I'm kidding. Jordan didn't do that. But yeah, that was working with Kristen Chandler, who's been a great friend of mine. So from there, I worked with that team. That movie was called Just a Man, starring Kristen Chandler and Lorraine Hill Purcell and myself and Peter Butenheck. And we ended up winning the 48 that year. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the start of us kind of winning some awards working together.
For several years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I got work in San Diego, and I started to get, I got representation from Just a Man. And I got my first agent because was in the 48-hour film is how I got my first
That's awesome.
agent in San Diego. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I believe this is Kristen. You got 2 hearts. You 2, you won't die alone.
No, I won't, because I have a wonderful and beautiful girlfriend, Peggy Warney, who's also a wonderful photographer in LA. So yeah, thank you, Kristen. I don't think I will die alone.
So here's 2 questions that are kind of close together a little bit. And so someone asked, when's your next workshop? And Jen Allen asks, what's your advice for young or new actors entering the industry?
I don't have any workshops planned. I did one last summer, and there are great people in town that do workshops. D. Candace Paul does a really great audition prep workshop, if you haven't heard of her. Great teachers in town, Carrie Scott, Terry Ross, Billy Coward are in town for things like that. But myself, I don't know. I know Jody has a new facility coming up with
Mega 64.
Yeah, so
it's a nice facility.
We kind of threw it out there that maybe I'll come back and do like an audition intensive workshop, but I can't say for sure right now. But
that's fair. That's fair enough.
For new actors starting out, get training and just understand that it's work. You know, it's not easy. It looks easy, but any job that requires a talent and art that this does, whether it be directing or acting, the people that are good at it make it look easy. So just realize, even though it looks easy, it's not. So realize that when you go into this business, it's going to take work. It's going to get time, training, heartache. You're going to have to learn more than just acting to make it. You've also got to learn the business. So just be prepared to do that.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper, who starred in and directed Star is Born recently, he's won some decent awards already. Somebody asked him recently, what did it take to do this and succeed at portraying this character and directing? And his response was along the lines of, I put in the work.
Yeah.
It really is about that. It's about doing the work. And acting doesn't just happen, right?
No, I mean, we've had this conversation with lots of people who have been on the podcast. The fact that it's kind of running a small business. You are your own small business as well as being the product of that business. Yeah. So it's a lot. It's, more than the 40 hours, so like 80 hours of work or a week, if not more.
Yeah.
Because it's the getting the job, doing the job, and then rinse and repeat.
Right. It's definitely that.
Doing your taxes.
Keeping yourself trained, so you're, I'm a huge advocate of actors should always be learning. So even if you're at the top of your game, there is something more that you can do, some workshop out there. Because I feel like even technique, each time you come back to that technique, it's going to be different because you're in a different place in your life as a human being and as an artist. So I tell my students, if you go into acting, you better really like being a student because you are a perpetual student for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Leandro Cano asks, is there a favorite book about acting that you have?
There are many great books out there, but I think one of the books that kind of at the very beginning inspired me was the autobiography of Michael Caine, believe it or not. And it was just his story about how much he struggled as an actor. And he talked about all the people that he knew coming up, Sean Connery, Terrence Stamp, all these actors where he lived. And finally, he talked about the one night it happened where the Broccoli, those guys that do the Bond movies, they came up to him at a pub, I think, and that we want to sign you on for a deal for our studio to do films. And that was like the start. And so he just talked about what happened, the transition of being broke as an actor and working really hard and struggling, and then finally it happening. And it just kind of motivated me that him feeling like he was too old for it at the time it happened, that it can happen. So that was really one of the things that got me through. There's a lot of books out there. I can't really name one other than that I think really we should go with.
Well, we have another clip that you sent in, so let's take a look at the clip and see where that takes the conversation.
Yeah.
Mike, you roll that?
My guess would be the bullet to the head scrambled his brains.
Who would have the motive to kill Tito Flores?
I don't know. He's the head of one of the biggest cartels in Mexico, so I'm guessing it's along.
Here's a voicemail lifted from Tito's phone.
Tito, hola amigo. You know what? I
I woke up this morning and I thought the sun is shining. What a great day to put a bullet in your head.
I'd like that stricken from the record.
This isn't a trial.
Okay, well, I want my lawyer present because my brain is still a little foggy. It's a residual effect of pain medication. So I am not responsible for the things I've may have said.
Well, I'm an open book. So ask away.
Why were you hunting Tito Flores, Detective Riggs?
Because he killed my wife. Next question.
All right.
Wow.
It's very, I am not humored by you, Merrick.
Wow. That was Lethal Weapon, which is on Fox now. That was actually the season opener for season 2 of Lethal Weapon with Damon Wayans and Clint Howard. And Beth Littleford, who's also in that scene with me as well. So that was a fun shoot.
Yeah.
What questions do you have about that?
For anybody who's thinking of becoming an actor and looking to kind of come in for those kinds of guest starring roles, like how long on average do you spend on a TV series set like that when you come in for? Is it a day? Is it a 2-day kind of thing?
Well, that particular one with Lethal Weapon, I was on multiple days, and. Yeah, you go in early. So in television world and perhaps film world too, it's like this. When you get hired to do a job, you get to set, they call you in at 5 a.m. for some reason always. And you literally sit for like 4 hours before you even go to makeup.
They do that because in LA it takes 4 hours to get 20 minutes down the road. So you want to make sure you're there at the beginning of the day.
Yeah, but I think it may be that. They feel secure making sure people are there.
Yep.
And so they do that as a precaution. A lot of times actors are late, don't show, whatever. They don't want to be scrambling at the last minute. These things, especially TV, will cost tons of money per hour.
Right.
So yeah, you get on set. You've got in my case, I usually get a trailer that's pretty nice, and you get to relax until they're ready for you. You go on. You've got your sides ready to go. If you need them, you should always be ready to go when you get there anyway. But yeah, that was fun. So that one was different because it was a season opener, and they had a table read, which they don't always do. They had a table read, and it was their first table read. They weren't sure they were going to be back for a second season. So I walk in, and there's this big room with a big square table with these little paper name plates all around the table. And I see mine. I'm like, wow, first table read. And so I pull out and they're like sort of people gathering on the periphery of this table. They could have been producers, they could have been directors, it could have been, I don't know. And so, but I'm the only actor that's really there at this point. So I'm like, oh, cool, I'm gonna take a picture. So I pull out my phone to take this picture, and my flash goes off. Oh no! So I'm like, I put it away quickly because I don't know if this is a confidential.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't want to, do something like an alarm go off and they come cart me out, toss me out the door. So I know that if you go to a table read, don't have your flash on if you're going to take pictures of the table read. But yeah, it was great. And then walks in Damon Wayans and everyone else there, and Beth Littleford is there for that. And that's so the table read happens, and then days later they'll do your shoot days, and that can be a week later typically or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a really fun experience. Working with Beth Littleford was great. She's originally from The Daily Show, a comedic actress that is was on a show called Dog with a Blog. I think you ever seen that show?
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah. So she was great to work with. And Damon Wayans, who since growing up, you see him on Living Color.
Right.
He is, he brings the funny to the show. He comes in, he's ready to work. He's not mean. He's not overly silly or anything like that. He's ready to work. He's cordial. He took a nice photo with us, which I should have sent you as well. But yeah, it's great.
We're gonna have to work on your marketing package.
Yeah.
For future.
So I have a quick question. You were saying earlier, obviously you get to set super, super early, probably 4 hours early. What do you personally do hanging out in your trailer during that time that you're waiting? Do you take a nap? Do you do some yoga? What is your preparation?
Yeah, you go over it. You can, check out what the signs are, make sure nothing's changed from what you last saw, because that does happen. The last minute they make a change on you. There's usually television in there. There's a fridge in there. You can go to Crafty and grab some food and chill. You can go in your trailer and take photos of yourself in your wardrobe, which I never do. And then you can, or you can go out and meet other actors and kind of hang out a bit. They don't mind.
But for you yourself, you don't have a ritual that you do, or you just kind of play it by ear?
No, I mean, I meditate daily. Either way, depending on how I'm feeling, I might take some time to get that part in for that time. Sure, but I feel like I never am nervous when I go to set. I'm never nervous anymore when I go to auditions because that's my job. It's what I do. It's what I love, and I don't feel like I don't feel nervous about doing something that I love to do anyway. So yeah.
I also wanted to ask, so a lot of the clips that we've seen, you seem to play a lot of cops and FBI, detectives, and you said that your parents were police officers.
Yeah.
So 2 questions. Do you think that having parents that were police officers has influenced your persona as far as an actor? And 2, how did you craft and market yourself? Like, did you know that you were going to go for these roles, or have they just sort of been coming to you?
That's a great question. I certainly think that growing up in my home with my mother and father, who were upstanding, people, taught me to be well-mannered, well-spoken, carry myself with confidence. And they were also police officers, so they have that authority about them as well. Definitely played into just how I come off, I think. And I didn't get into the business thing, okay, I'm going to be the next Beretta, which actually would be kind of cool. But I didn't think that I'm going to be the next, cop guy. The industry's kind of shown me that, hey, we like you as this. You pull this off really well. And these are the roles that I get called in for and booked for the most.
Yeah, you do a good job with the authoritative.
Yeah, here. The doctor, the police officer, the professor. Yeah. So, and I don't fight that. Mm-hmm. Why? Yes, I'm an actor. Yes, I'd love to play the deranged murderer at some point, or the love interest that, is with Halle Berry. But right now, no. You're looking at me.
Peggy popped around.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No. Sometimes the industry will show you what they like for you the most. And once you're established, once you've built up that body of work and you have the resources to go and do other things, you do that. But don't fight. People say, I don't want to be typecast. Well, you're not really, you're a no-name actor. So you're really not.
Typecast is a good thing.
It can be a good thing. You're starting out, you get to work, and you get to build your brand with that. And then you can go off and do other things.
Right.
So stay with your strengths when you're starting out.
We got another clip that you sent in.
Yeah.
That's a little different than the rest of these. Can we go ahead and roll that, Mike?
I'll do it. I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
Just put the gun down, son.
Shut up. Shut your damn mouth. This is all your fault. Don't come any farther. I'll kill him.
Just put the gun down.
Get back.
We can talk about this, son.
Back up. I swear I'll do it. I swear I'll kill him.
Calm down, Carlton. Son, I've tried so hard to change. I'm sorry, disappointed.
I don't care that you're gay, Pa. God, I wish you'd just come out and be done with it already.
And why?
I wanted you to love me the same way that you love Mars.
Carlton, you're my son. I love you more than anything.
No, you became so obsessed with Mars that you took him away from me. I lost my father and my best friend because you couldn't control yourself.
Carlton, come on, son, don't do it.
Carlton, baby.
Don't do this.
Please, baby, don't do this.
Listen, no good's gonna come from this.
Stop me.
Put the gun down, and let's all just talk.
To hell with it. No.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's gonna be all
That was intense.
Yeah.
What was that from?
That's from a show called Rebel. It is a BET show executive produced by John Singleton. And it was one of the great experiences working on film. That character, I was a closeted gay deacon. And the guy with the gun to his head was my son, who was not happy that it turns out I was his gay deacon. And the woman that collapses crying is the woman that's playing my wife. And that was a fun shoot. It was different. Again, I went in to this casting office, which I've been trying to get in for a long time. And I finally get this audition, this role, and it's like the gay deacon. And I didn't bother me at all. What impressed me is that I got there in the casting room, and I'm confident because I'm feeling like it's an emotionally, intense
very emotionally
scene.
charged scene. Yeah.
And you basically had to do, I think, that gun scene in the audition. And I'm sitting there ready, and in walks like this actor that I've seen in movies since I was a kid, and he's up for the same role. And I was like, okay. At least I got to be in here and audition for it, because I thought, and this guy is a great actor too. And you just never know, and that's happened to me multiple times now when I've been up for shows that I walk in as actors that I see in major films and TV shows for a long time, and I'm getting used to that.
You're in the game now.
Yeah, I guess you can say I'm getting used to that, and I'm not. At first, I was really that audition specifically. I was intimidated. I was like, wow, all I can do is what I can do, but I was really intimidated when I saw him walk in. He was like, you like this? And then he's like, you see you hear that deflation sound effect going. That was me sitting in that waiting room when that
Well, obviously you must have nailed it on the audition. Were you able to channel some of that kind of intimidation energy to the audition?
I think some of the fear, probably. Yeah, probably that. But yeah, I guess they just, they really liked my read, so... Yeah, great director working in that too, and the great cast for that show. So,
So we got another question here. You ever met or worked with Silk Cozart? Do you know that?
I can't say that I have.
Okay. I think that's a no-show.
It could be. I don't know if I work with them.
It's a very specific question.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the name. I worked with, been on scene with a lot of people, and I don't always remember. So here's a fun fact, too. Struggling as an actor, getting up to LA, trying to get into that industry, and only having acting as an income, sometimes in between jobs, I would go in and do like featured background work for TV shows or films. So there's a lot of times these shows will pop up that I'm in. So you mentioned like... A Star is Born. Mm-hmm. I'm in a scene in that.
I heard you were.
There is a scene in the bar where the guy nearly gets into a fight and Lady Gaga punches this guy. I'm right in, this is a bar full of cops, and so I'm one of the cops in the scene. They wanted me for that. There is, another film that I was, I guess, featuring, and people told me called How to Be a Latin Lover.
Oh.
There was a scene where I pop up in that. I remember barely. It wasn't called that at the time they asked me to work on this. It was called something else, and I didn't know what it was going to be. But that was another one as well.
That was on Netflix for a while.
Yeah. There is a movie called Dolomite coming out starring Eddie Murphy that you might see quick. Again, this is a couple years ago. So
oh, wow.
This stuff just comes out. So I can't do that anymore because I'm auditioning so much that one of these films in particular, I was on this and I was getting auditions for that day. And I would sneak off set to go to the auditions and then come back. And it was like highly stressful because I don't want to, I was background essentially, and I figured they wouldn't miss me, but it's highly stressful. So I can't do that. I can't do that stuff anymore. So fortunately.
Well, it all seems to be working out for you now.
Yeah.
So Brian Keith Davis.
Yeah. Brian.
He yelled in the chat, "Ferret."
Right.
For your sake, I did not load that video clip up.
Oh, okay.
But Mike Peterson actually asked a question way before it started. The crew is in the chat room.
Right.
Asking questions. Where did he ask? Oh, I don't know. He asked something about wearing a green button. How was it being put into a green suit to become a ferret? So Merrick, in his graciousness with us, came out for a midnight shoot on our very last 48 film, which Teresa directed. And You came out and played a surprise CGI Ferret character for us.
Yeah, that was a little cameo spot that I think I opened up to people that I knew. Hey, if you have a little cameo you might need me to do, that's fine. I don't mind doing it. And so David Dawson's, I think it was you that reached out to me saying, hey, we have this little thing we want you to do. You know, it's you're going to be playing a ferret in this. And I'm thinking, okay, so I'll be in a ferret costume? He's like, no. And so I get to set, and then I think it was Teresa that whips out this like plastic bag with a green spandex full body suit in, and I was like,
well, you know, we could have handled it where it was just a voice piece, but you're Merrick fucking McCartha.
Yeah.
You know?
But that was actually
we shot you.
That was actually fun. I was not expecting that, but it turned out really well. It was really funny, and I think a lot of San Diego had a lot of fun with that.
Well, what I loved was that pictures of you on our set like got out. Like Jody took pictures of you in the green suit with all the dots on your face.
Yeah.
The pictures got out.
Before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got out
before
that night. So for like the next it was like 2 weeks before the screening.
People were trying to guess what you were going to be.
Guess what you were doing on our set.
And we were sharing studio space with another team that was filming, so they were like, oh my god, you guys are actually doing motion capture?
It was so funny. People thought we were doing mocap in there. And that was the ruse. And it worked.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was, and not telling everybody was a joy. It was a joy. Unfortunately,
I think I got a call from either you and or Mikey like a night months ago. And I swear, I know you don't drink, so I was utterly confused by this call. And it was like, I forget the premise, but I'm sitting there with Peggy.
It is.
And I'm like, Peggy, he wants me to, I don't know, I'm sure what he's saying to me. He said he wants me to come out of a garbage, something you were saying to me. And I'm like, I really thought he must be drunk, but it wouldn't be so. You wouldn't fall to whack. I didn't know what was going on. So what was going on? So I hear Mikey laughing in the background.
So we participated in the True San Diego film competition.
All right.
Oh, I know what.
You know what happened?
Yeah.
All right.
And,
I remember that.
And, you know, we were adapting various short stories into a film.
Mm-hmm.
And the film we picked was called Feeder Rats, and it became Tossed Aside.
Mm-hmm.
And it became one of our nights. You know, we were brainstorming endlessly for weeks on this thing and trying to figure out how to make it work. And at one point on one night when we were having a good time, and maybe I'd partaken of something, it dawned on us that we had animals in our movie, snakes specifically, and what fun it would be to have Merrick come in and just his way through a picture, just be the snake sounds for us. And we called you it was middle of the night. It was like 11:30 or something. So we were a little excited about the idea. You didn't seem so plussed by it.
No.
I think at one point somebody proposed bringing back Merrick the Ferret too, in that like a little cameo screen.
Yeah. It was one of those nights where a bunch of filmmakers.
And I love you, David. I just didn't know what was going on.
I could tell.
So,
and for the record, I don't know that I knew what was going on.
I was asleep. What do you want?
For the record, I said, why are you calling him? Just saying.
Thank you.
There was a voice of reason.
There was.
All
Nobody
right.
listened to me, but that's okay.
So, anyway, you know.
Do you get a deal with Smart Water, by the way?
No. Smart Water wants to
Smart
sponsor
Water.
the show.
I know, right? Smart Water. When you're too dumb to drink regular water,
it's the one with the
try
fish.
Smart Water. It's the one with the fish.
The fish. I like
Side
Quite
effects may
amused by
include
fish.
runny nose, vomiting, anal leakage, and an 8-hour erection. Consult your doctor.
But no, it's wonderful having you on the show,
Thank you.
Merrick, and it is a personal joy of mine because I've been traveling around the country a lot.
Yeah, I
so
know.
I feel detached from home a lot.
Well, when you're here at Disneyland,
absolutely,
you and Teresa every time.
But what really is cool is, and this is not just you. This is you, and it's Laura Boleyn, and it's a few other people in our community. No matter where I am, I'm seeing you guys cropping up on my television sets, and it is delightful whenever it happens, and it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy that my friends are out there succeeding and being seen and to see your careers growing and see you going strong. And, I hope no matter how far up that ladder you climb, that you're willing to come back and keep chatting with us and telling us about the journey, because it is a journey, right?
It absolutely is. Yeah.
We're all at various places in it.
Yeah.
But it's fun to check in with each other.
And we can keep telling our friends, we know that. I know that person.
Yeah, I do the same with Laura, with Jonathan, with Kristen, with Jennifer and Mark Allen. I mean, all these guys are just...
Well, a girl that Teresa, my sister Laura, and we grew up with, Fiona Gubelman. She's on The Good Doctor now.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it's just like, all my friends are just, they're doing so well, and it's a lot of fun. And so, my congratulations to you on the successes that you're having.
Thank you.
I know they're just the start,
Thank you.
And Whitney is going at it full bore with her acting going into next year, so I expect to see good things.
Yep, we'll see where we go.
Yeah.
I have somebody that I can seek advice from in Merrick. So.
Yeah, and a couch.
And a couch. And a couch.
Reclinable.
Very nice.
Also pretty awesome.
Hey, couch surfing is fine with me. It's a good place to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Sure.
Thank you all for joining us for all 3 of the episodes that we live streamed today. This was our big test pilot program of getting the show into live streaming. Thanks to the generous help of our partners here at Voice and Video and Bill. Thank you very much, Bill.
Thank you.
And if you're in San Diego and you're looking to make films, this is the place, man. You need to come down here and talk to Bill. They've got a full line of rental gear. They got everything you possibly could want to buy. And they've got this awesome studio space that's available for rental.
It's really nice.
And
it's great.
you should check them out. And if you haven't been down here, come down here and say hello. Bill will be happy to show you around.
Has the new camera smell.
New cam smell. It's like metal. Let me all happy. Till the next time, when we come back with more live streaming in January, be sure to check out the podcast itself. All the audio from today's shows will end up there over the course of the next month. And this is the way the show's going to be going forward for a while. We'll be doing several live streams a month.
Yep.
And we'll still do some audio-only episodes based on various guests' abilities to join us. And it's a whole new era for the Intellectual Podcast. We're in our 6th year now.
Wow, congratulations.
Crazy enough.
Congratulations.
Wow, yeah.
This is our 232nd episode.
Awesome.
So it's kind of crazy. I can't believe we're still at it. I'm not going to stop.
Good.
Whitney's not going to
keep evolving.
And thanks to Bill, in this location, the show's not going to be wholly dependent on my availability to do interviews anymore. Whitney and Mark and Steve.
They're going to leave me to run the show.
Come down and start doing some shows without me when I'm out of town.
Yeah.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Yeah. But it's a great thing. It's a wonderful partnership that we have with Voice and Video. And we thank them very, very much. Until next time, I'm Dave Dawson.
I'm Whitney Wegman.
And I'm Merrick McCartha.
And we'll talk again soon.
Hello there, citizens. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the floaty that will not flush no matter how many times you try in the toilet bowl of crime. I am Darkwing Duck, telling you please, talk hard and enjoy the mindgasm. Whatever the heck that means. After all, you are watching Intellectual Podcast with your ears.